Hey, Duck. Did you take a good look at this little jewel we're driving? It's a Freightliner Argus. Man, it looks pretty nice. I think it was skinned by David Esther. She's a pretty little thing rolling down through here. I know it's just a truck, but it's a nice one. I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this thing through a test today. We're gonna go get a big heavy load for it, and we're gonna make it earn its keep. Different than what I do with you. Shouldn't be taking off in too high gear all the time. This takes off too slow. But two things I like about this truck is that one is you got digital display on the center of the dash that shows you how fast you're going. That's always important to me, so you don't have to bring up the GPS. And the other, that red spot you see there on the dash to the right of the steering wheel is the gear, yeah. So that's two things I like about it right off. And plus, a lot of other things looks nice in here, so. Where were you at, Doug? I didn't see you.
I was getting this little camera.
What are you checking it for?
I don't know. I can shut nothing out.
Alright. Wait a minute, Doug, wait. They seem to be having a lot of trouble down there in Dixieland there, Doug. There's a train, like we've never seen one. They be having a lot of trouble down there in Dixieland. They're blaming a flag for a crime. But we won't get into that stuff too much, but it's just that every time some crazy person does something, you gotta blame something else for it. There's a lot of crazy people in the world. Ain't that right, Crazy Doug? if we would've took his load or not, Doug, with this cab over, but I guess cab overs haul turbo big loads too, but you know, they called and said what they had and where they had to take it. And I said, you called the right company. Cause that's what we do, is move stuff. But I hope we don't let them down there, Doug. I know we won't. We will get her done. These little guys standing in the road to check you in. They sure are little brave souls. I guess he's ready to run. Oh, look at him paying attention. No, he ain't even looking. He's arguing with his wife again at a different place. We're going in here and get this thing. He said, that's fine, Doug. But we're going down here and get it. He wasn't paying no attention to us. All he does is grab on the phone, look like. Or the radio, company radio or something. Here we go downhill, Doug. Hang on to your seat. Alright. So there's where the boss takes a nap, I guess. That reminds me, the one time I took on the job I was working on, I took a camper. I lived in a camper trailer for a year or two, one of them tag-along campers. And I take it to the job, and we'd all park on around the job. And it's a bad mistake. Them things ain't made to live in the winter, I can tell you that. Like a froze to death in that thing. We stayed a little bit warm, but I'd take the cabinet doors off the cabinets, keep the water lines from freezing under the zinc. They're not insulated or nothing very good, but anyway, the deal about it, having it there on the job was if I was working day shift, and if the night shift didn't show up, they'd come down there and beat on my door a couple of hours later and say, hey, the night shift didn't show up, we need you to come up and work night shift too, or work 4 or 5 hours all you can, then be back in the morning. I got myself a lot of extra time like that, but I didn't exactly want it. So there's your tip for the day. I try not to live on the job. Here we go. We'll see what we're hauling here in just a second. If we can find it, we seem to be lost. We'll find it. Yep, another one of those backhoes with extended boom. This Argosy Freightliner can handle that, I'm sure. She won't turn. Need to get your fat butt up there on the dashboard or get out there and hang on to the grill.
No, I won't do it. Get back on the line.
I know I'm bigger than you are, but you can't drive. Yeah, we've got this. Oh, there she goes again. We'll get it out of here. 'Cause this is what we do. They had a fella call me the other day, Doug, said, would you move my mother-in-law? And I said, how big is she? My gosh. He said, not my mother-in-law, her stuff. I said, oh, I misunderstood you there. You know, funny thing, Doug, the old boy didn't think that was funny. I thought everybody liked mother-in-law jokes, but he didn't think that was funny. And by the way, I had the greatest mother-in-law ever. And that fella got upset.
That's funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Everybody's different, Duck. You'll learn that someday when you grow up and be a big boy.
Yeah, never.
Now, if the front end hangs the curves good and we don't run into too many big straight up mountains, we'll be in fine shape, though. Got my seat a little bit too far forward there, Duck. We'll have to adjust that after a while. No, that's not the trouble. Well, kind of, but you know how it is. Duck, is this whole country uphill? When you put a heavy load on it, you can really tell where the hills are. I pulled that camper I was talking about out of town near where I lived one time, and I thought it was pretty level. And the first 3 miles out of town, the truck I had at the time got hot 2 or 3 times, and I had to stop at a little Chevrolet straight 6. The camper weighed, I think, 3 tons, empty. It was one of those nomads or whatever. And I had to, when I got back home after that first journey in it, I put a 3/4 radiator in it, a 6-blade fan instead of a clutch fan, 6-blade fan, 3/4 radiator, and a heavier transmission cooler. And I never had no more problem pulling my camper. But we learn as we go, like I told the duck, when you get up, to be a big boy. I was young then, didn't know no better. I hooked onto that camper and started. I thought it was a level ground truck, barely would move. When you get a load, you can tell where the hills are. We're gonna cut this in a little short right in here so she won't be too long, and bring you the second half and show off the outside of this thing a little bit in the second half when it gets daylight here. And man, the duck, we'll keep on going, but when we get it all uploaded, we'll put it on here. I think it's uphill for 600 miles. That's what I think. What do you think, Doug?
I don't know. I'm not just there.
Yeah, you been a smarty like always. Alright, Doug. This is Rusty Truck.
I don't know. Very much.